Ukraine, the Wild West of Eastern Europe, a frontier of freedom, a laboratory of progress, a shield of civilization. A frontier giving birth to the future. Imagine a line on a map that is never just a line. It is like a scar, not because it constantly hurts, but because a struggle for survival and meaning took place there. For Europe, Ukraine has become that line. It is not a buffer, not a gray zone, and not a periphery. It is a frontier, a place where the most important things happen, where the strength of values is tested, the authenticity of freedom is verified, and the price of humanity is determined. The phrase, Ukraine is the Wild West of Eastern Europe, sounds provocative. It may provoke a smile or resistance. However, its power lies in the accuracy of the metaphor. The Wild West is not about romanticizing lawlessness or a cult of weapons. It is about a territory of opportunity where a new type of society is formed, where institutions are created for function rather than imitation, and where every day is a test of maturity. This is exactly what Ukraine is, a country that does not simply strive to become normal. It is creating a new normalcy for a world entering an era of turbulence. Ukraine is a land of beautiful people, nature, cities, infrastructure, and culture. But most importantly, it is a country for those who want to realize themselves, not in a finished space, but in the space of creation. For the youth, the scientists, the inspired, and the people of action who want to be part of building a dream state, free, strong, honest, and purposeful. At the same time, it is a state that must be militarily powerful, for one of its purposes is to deter the barbarians from the East who seek to return Europe to the darkness of imperial violence. What the Wild West means in the 21st century, the essence of the metaphor. The historical Wild West of America was not so much a geography as a state of society. It was a frontier where order had not yet turned into bureaucratic routine, where people had to negotiate, organize, and build cities and rules themselves. An economy of opportunity was born there, with all its risks, mistakes, and conflicts. But it was also there that a culture of responsibility for freedom was formed. If you do not guard your home, protect your law, or build your bridge, no one will do it for you. Ukraine today is a similar space. It does not live under the illusion that the world is stable. It lives in a reality where threat is not a concept, but a daily occurrence. But the paradox of the frontier is that threat can not only destroy, but also awaken. The war, which brought much pain, also bared the truth of what we are, a people capable of self-organization, will, creativity, discipline, and technological ingenuity. It is like metal passing through fire. It either melts or becomes stronger. Ukraine has become stronger. The metaphor, the Wild West for Ukraine, signifies three things. A space of opportunity. Many blank spots remain where something new can be created. Speed of change. Decisions are made in days, not years. Freedom with a backbone. Here, freedom is not a luxury, but a duty and a shield. Ukraine as a land of opportunity, human capital over resources. Ukraine possesses natural wealth, fertile lands, and a strategic location, but its main resource is its people. The frontier forms a special character, not a consumer of the system, but a builder. In countries with established institutions, people are often born into a ready-made order. The rules are set, the trajectories are paved. In Ukraine, much still needs work, and this is not a curse, but a chance. Here, it is easy to feel that your efforts are not lost in an ocean. In Ukraine, a single competent, honest, and brave specialist is sometimes capable of changing an entire direction, starting a school, opening a lab, launching a service, founding a center, or rebuilding a process. Here, impact is not abstract. It is felt like the strike of a hammer on a nail, a sharp sound, and the structure holds. Ukrainian society also possesses a rare quality, horizontality. This manifests in volunteering, initiative communities, public projects, and entrepreneurship.
When the state can't keep up, society steps in. This doesn't mean the state is necessary. On the contrary, a society that knows how to self-organize is the best partner for a state, provided the state serves rather than parasitizes. Nature and space. Ukraine as a geography of strength and inspiration. A land of opportunity is not just about the economy, it's about the quality of life and internal support. Ukraine has a space that does not stifle but breathes. The Carpathians are the backbone of character. Policia is the silence that preserves memory. The steppes are the horizon where thought becomes bolder. The Dnipro is the artery connecting eras. The Black Sea is the window reminding us that we are part of a vast world. In the 21st century, nature is not a backdrop, it is a resource for health, tourism, green technologies, and new urbanism. Ukraine has the potential to become a country where cities do not fight nature, but integrate with it. Green corridors, clean transport, energy-efficient homes, and modern parks. A country where progress is not against humanity, but for it. A new type of infrastructure, beyond roads to a digital state. When people say infrastructure, they often mean concrete and asphalt, but modern infrastructure also includes digital services, transparent registers, fast administrative procedures, and open data. A country under construction can leapfrog outdated stages. Ukraine is doing just that. Where others have spent decades patching the old, Ukraine can implement the new immediately through technology, simplification, and reimagining processes. Frontier requires speed, and speed requires trust. Therefore, a digital state is not about gadgets, it's about a new social contract. Fewer intermediaries, more transparency, fewer offices, more service, fewer opportunities for abuse, more rules. Freedom does not exist without strength. The most important lesson of history is simple and harsh. Freedom without the ability to defend oneself is an invitation to a predator. Ukraine wants to be free, open, and humane, but it cannot be naive. Across its border is a state that thinks in imperial categories and degrades human life to the level of expendable material. Its method is blackmail, not competition, propaganda, not culture, violence, not law. That is why Ukraine must be militarily strong, but it is vital to understand Ukraine's strength is defensive, its purpose is deterrence. A strong Ukraine is not a country that threatens anyone. It is a country that prevents history from being dragged back to a time when a barbarian could break down a door and call it a new order. Ukraine in Europe's future security architecture, from petitioner to co-author. Europe lived long in the illusion that war was a thing of the past and that trade and treaties could replace force. Ukraine shattered that illusion at the cost of its own lives. This is a tragic mission, but it makes Ukraine unique. It doesn't just ask for protection, it creates the experience of protection for the entire continent. The future security architecture of Europe cannot be built without Ukraine. The reason is not just geography, it's competence. Ukraine has gained experience that cannot be simulated in offices, the experience of resilience, mobilization, adaptation, technological shifts in real conflict, and reforming processes under pressure. Europe has a lot of security theory, Ukraine has a lot of practice. Reconstruction as a leap, not a repair. The biggest mistake after a catastrophe is to restore things as they were. As they were often contained the weaknesses that led to the crisis. Ukraine has a chance to make reconstruction a reboot. Cities, energy efficient and barrier-free. Economy, technological and competitive. Government services, fast and transparent. Education, practical and world-class. Defense, smart and high-tech. This is the dream country, not perfect, but capable of correcting itself, developing and defending itself while remaining human. Ukraine's formula, humanity with armor. Ukraine stands before the world as proof humanity is not weakness if it is protected by the strong. Strength is not barbarism if it is guided by principles. This is its civilizational mission. It can become a place where three things, rarely found together, unite. freedom as the rule, not the exception, honesty as the norm, not heroism, strength as the guarantee, not a cult. Ukraine is not the edge of Europe, but its beginning. Ukraine is the Wild West of Eastern Europe, not because of wildness, but because it is a frontier where a new type of state is being born, modern, free, and technological, yet capable of self-defense, humane but not naive, open but resilient. After victory, Ukraine will not just be part of Europe, it will be the place where Europe remembered what values are and learned how to protect them again.
Хто ми такі? Опа! Ми з України.